Alright, so this is episode 80, the Dutch Grand Prix. If you missed the previous episode, Belgium, I recommend you go and check that one out, because obviously I built a rocket ship in a straight line as our aero upgrade came through 227 miles an hour in a straight line, and it turns out we've still got one missing upgrade from Porsche to come next season as well. So, next season we're going even faster in a straight line. But to qualifying then, Zandvoort, of course, is a different track. Very hard to overtake here. There's two DRS zones, but I mean the second one is really not a DRS zone. Really, it's more of a dive bomb into the corner there as well. Unfortunately, I had an old person's moment and forgot to change the old power unit components out before qualifying. It's not the end of the world though, because of course we don't need power, but it got worse. We had a DRS failure on our second lap just as we went green in the first sector. And you think, well, yes, it's his drag reduction fault. Oh, the time has gone. Right, well, let's get out there. We've got the soft tyres now. We've selected that soft range. I've got 4 soft tyres for qualifying. You think that, oh, well, look what's not fixed. Yes, that's right, the DRS, it's not fixed, despite the fact the game said it would be, for goodness sake.
Cannot be serious!
So anyway, we're just going to eventually the DRS actually fixed itself in time for our third and final run, but unfortunately we have slumped P19, and it's not been a great start either, as we've lost a tenth on the on the DRS start finish line. Through the carousel section we gained a bit back, however, but obviously out of this section the AI have their OP traction. You see the rate of knots that Alpine is closing in is we've actually almost 2/10 slower than Stroll through sector 1 as well. I have managed to make up a bit through that corner, actually a tenth through that corner. Piastri's gone fast at 109.8, so that's where the car will be. That's the target, to try and get a 109.8. A bit too much curbing there, a little bit of a mistake out that corner, so we're slowing up the Alpine, a real treat for everyone else. Almost 4 tenths off Stroll now, as we've been out qualified at the moment by Nicholas Latifi. This is embarrassing. After we won the previous episode at Belgium, we're coming out the final corner 2 tenths up on our previous best time, but look at the rate of knots that Alpine closes in. Something seriously wrong is wrong with this car and the setup, and it's P19 as our teammate gets pole position. Clearly something is wrong. I'm going to fiddle about with the engine and take some other components. I'm not going to take a fresh engine because I don't think we need to. We've got the durability maxed out, so we don't need those parts. So yes, we'll see what we can do from last on the grid. It's time for the race today's Dutch Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and to the Zandvoort circuit, 25 miles away from Amsterdam, for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. Zandvoort circuit then, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6 mile lap. And watch out for cars making use of the DRS zone into turn 1 to overtake. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Russell, Charles Leclerc and Gasly, Norris, Tsunoda, Hamilton and Esteban Ocon, Albon, Vettel, Guan Yu Zhou and Magnussen, Schwartzman, Stroll, Valtteri Bottas and Mick Schumacher, Latifi and Phoenix. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Natalie Pinkham A lot of talented drivers out on the track today, but what will stand out for you?
My focus is 100% on the front of the grid. Like you said, we're seeing a lot of strong competition across those positions, so it'll be so interesting to see the fight for that front spot. Personally speaking, I'm hoping for plenty of overtakes.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
So here we are down the grid. Race strategy is going to be one stop from medium to soft. So 5 red lights for the Dutch Grand Prix. From last place on the grid in the Williams, and away we go. And it's actually a good start compared to Latifi, but of course it's that second phase thing. The AI always get you back. Can we have a look down the inside? No, Bottas blocks the inside. We are going to get both Haas cars as well. And now can we move forward through into the carousel section, right round the outside. We've got so much more grip than Stroll Schwartzman as well. We're going to it's a drag race now with Lance Stroll down to turn 11 here, side by side through this high speed corners. And we've managed to make the move, thank goodness, on Lance Stroll. I didn't want to be stuck behind him for too long, as overtaking is difficult around here as well. But we did make the move with a bit of ERS usage, and it was a fair racing between myself and Lance Stroll there. Next up is Magnussen, who's had a poor qualifying. Will be a lot difficult, more difficult, excuse me, to get past. But I think we've got a bit more sort of downforce, as it's an easy dive down the inside. We leave him space, but he yields position right now up to P14, Magnussen down to P15. So next up is Vettel. We have a look around the outside of the carousel section. Can we make it? No, we can't. That's annoying. And look at the traction that the AI just have. You know, there's just no doing that struggle. Meanwhile, up at the front, Piastri is currently winning this race from Carlos Sainz is in second. The home favourite Max Verstappen has dropped to third ahead of Leclerc, and I think that's Russell there. This time, lap 3, same again on Sebastian Vettel. This time with tyre bang, and it's going to be the same as Stroll. It's going to be excuse me, oh so close. We don't want to be tying bang 180 mile an hour down the inside at turn 11. Can we make this move? Yes, we can. We're just going to open the steering and force ourselves across. And Vettel finally yields the position, which is good news for us as we gain yet another spot. It's Dutch Grand Prix. You know, it's a that's my new, seems to be my new favourite overtaking corner. As Mark, I mean, it was probably you that disabled my DRS and then didn't fix it, so therefore, I mean, I'm not surprised he's offering the same strategy as what we're already on to pit on lap 10. As we come into the pits then, I always don't understand why, you know, pit lane speed limiters, if you've got a slower pit lane speed limit, like here, like Zandvoort, I think France is the other one, Silverstone, it's just like, why? Why can't we at least go up to 50? Like, and also, especially this one, like that's the speed limiters ended there. You know, at the end of the day, I don't know why it's a slower pit lane limiter there, for example. But there we go. As we've been undercut by Vettel, that is annoying. We're going to have to try and get back the second DRS zone now. Vettel tries to squeeze us to the grass. We've got to have the inside, but goes too deep, yields the position. We'll have to back up to P13, but obviously we're still quite some way away from Zhou Guanyu in 12th place, and you know, this could be the worst result of the season. However, on lap number 12, there is some pace as we set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, a 1:11.2. So, despite our troubles in qualifying, and look, the sun's even coming out as well. We're going to breeze past Zhou around the outside. Thank you very much. There's a little bit of contact there, I think, and we're up to P12. So, you know, this strategy is actually working very well. As Zhou tried to keep his nose in there, but obviously he got pinched at the curb, as well as Piastri's having a stroll at the front. You know, he's going to his first win of the season, not his first. He's obviously won 4 Grand Prix from McLaren last season, but Sainz is keeping him honest there. As as well. Next up is Esteban Ocon round the outside the carousel as well. Now we're going to have to try and use the ERS. We haven't got a lot available though, funny enough. You know, we've got maxed out ERS as well. Ocon's slightly ahead, but we've now got to still changing tyres down the inside at turn 11, open the steering yet again, and we're up to P11. That is a very good move there to get up and yet another position. And now, can we even get points? You know, I thought, you know, after the poor start, we couldn't even catch Joe in the opening stint. You know, can we get points? However, one man does stand in our way, and that's Sir Lewis Hamilton. We have made so much contact, there's been so much controversy between myself and Hamilton throughout this career mode, and it will not be easy to get past. They win, even without that major upgrade that's coming, the Spanish Grand Prix hopefully, without a failure. We're going to have Hamilton back here down the inside and move up. Oh, he's made contact! There's contact with Hamilton. Gasly as well, to be fair, has done well, considering the fact that he was stuck in a train, and I think he was also behind Magnussen. There's Hamilton! Has dived up the inside there, as he's tried to seek, obviously, a little bit of revenge for the last week's episode at Imola, as well. Next up is Hamilton, though. We are going to... DRS isn't enabled until we only get 2 laps, because of the unique way of DRS being enabled. Is there? As there's contact! We've gone across the gravel. We've been forced across the gravel there, but Hamilton decided he didn't want to yield the position, and he turned right there. And the first up, we're going to try and get past Sir Lewis Hamilton, who's on the mediums. He's going to be slow than everyone else in this first part. The stint as he almost puts us in the wall. Oh my goodness, that was almost race ending. Yeah, he just kept going right as if though we weren't there. So now we've got jumped to the last lap of the Dutch Grand Prix. There could be a point, there could be a chance of 2 points, of course. We've still got the fastest lap all over the back of Hamilton, but we can't make that move. We've slightly run out of ERS, and now we're going to have to recompose ourselves through the final DRS zone, down to the couple of corners. Hamilton got DRS as well. There's going to have to be a dive from down the inside. Yes, we've made the move, and we're up to P10. And that's going to be 2 points, potentially keep our championship chance alive as well. Hamilton, in the end, yielded the position, as well as he couldn't make the position. You know, he couldn't otherwise would have taken us out. Would have definitely got a penalty for that. So we're coming across the line, but I don't think I've ever fought harder enough for P10, 10th place. Well, it's going to be 2 measly points, 1 for 10th. 1 for the fastest lap point. It means we equal the points that Gasly earned, who is the championship leader still, I think, as well as Piastri. You know, he 7 tenths in front of Sainz, so Ferrari definitely there with one of their cars. The other, no. Vettel, he needs to leave that team as soon as possible. Sadly, his return to Ferrari has not been good. But we scored the same as Gasly, and that result means we're still 23 points behind Gasly as well. Verstappen has jumped Albon after Albon had a poor result. Verstappen 6 points from back now as well. Piastri, you know, I mean, he's 71 points back, but in the form that he's in, 2 podiums in the last 2 races as well. There's 6 races left to go, I think, as well. You know, there's still quite a few points to want. If Gasly continues to have a poor selection of races, then, you know, that could be anyone's up for grab. And, you know, in the constructors, we're only 55 points. We've comfortably overtaken. We're now ahead of Alpine in the constructors. We're up to 3rd as well. So, you know, all is not lost. We'll try and bounce back at the next race, which is Italy. A good race for me as well. You know, 227 miles an hour down the Kemmel Straight. We're going to. It should be our easy 1-2 for Williams there as well. Which order? We'll have to wait and see. Oscar, of course, is quick. He's got his momentum back now with a 3rd and a 1st place as well. He will not want to give up that position, the chance of back-to-back victories as well. But obviously you've got to add in the AlphaTauris as well, maybe even the Red Bulls as well. You know, maybe Ferrari Sainz as well. Sainz will of course want to do well in front of the home crowd. So yes, if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. See plenty more F1 22 driver camera videos as when they come out. Until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.